Live from Long Beach, it's the Daily's Loss Prevention News Network.
It's Amber Bradley and co-MC Joe LaRocca.
Hang on. It's only live if you're watching on the 25th. But for those of you watching the recorded version, this isn't so much live anymore. But
Okay, Hedgie.
Okay, Smarty Pants. Thanks for the news update. So, fine. Now that you're here, why don't you join us?
Hang out with us for a little bit.
Well, you're stuck with me now.
Okay, fine.
Take it away.
So, if you stand here, you have to answer some questions for us.
Hot seat questions.
I gotta.
You can't go anywhere.
Nope, you're here.
Okay,
You're stuck.
Here you are. So, fine. Here we go. So, the National Retail Security Survey results show that retailers lost an estimated 1.38% of retail sales, $44 billion. That's the highest dollar loss that we've seen in the survey's at least 7 or 10 year history. So, what do you make of that number? What are your thoughts about it?
Well,
It's important.
That's a Hedgie.
This is serious stuff.
It's a Hedgie bobblehead.
Axis may make one of those. Maybe it's a giveaway.
It's a collector's
swag
item.
we want. We don't want that swag. Those numbers are significant. I think it's a reflection of a lot of factors. Obviously, as we've experienced in loss prevention for a while, is they've been tasked with doing more with less. And, at some point you're going to get diminishing returns on that. And these guys are having to leverage not only their people and the resources, but also the technology and the tools to battle this. And I think there are a lot of factors impacting that.
Okay, and that does make complete sense. So,
Of course, from Hedgie it would.
of course. Well, so when you break down
somebody.
Well, okay, so when you break down the numbers and you look at internal versus external, this is the first year that I've seen that external at 38 actually outpaces the internal percents at 34.5. What drives that external number in the last year or so in your mind?
I think it's most likely organized retail crime, and a lot of that is because the message isn't necessarily getting out there like it needs to the market, and what organized retail crime is really all about. Most people in society, and I would say our lawmakers as well, just regard shoplifting as shoplifting, and the criminals unfortunately are learning more and more, and they're realizing how they can leverage the technology at their disposal to choose my words carefully, but fence their goods or take the orders for what they need to steal and boost. And so I think that's what's really driving it up. The internal theft, I think, has gone down partially because people they're not willing to risk their jobs over just a small bump in what they could get. Jobs in this market are just way too important.
That makes complete sense. So when you turn it to a business perspective for Access, how do you now sort of rejig the approach that you have for a customer? What might you recommend to one of the retailers on how they deploy new solutions, your company, or even other technologies to account for the shifts in internal versus external?
I think it's a matter of leveraging what's available today in the way of technology. Resolution has come a long way in the camera technologies to be able to identify people. We were actually talking with Dr. Hayes about the offenders that they talked to, and most of the offenders, their perception is those cameras are useless. The resolution's terrible. They can't identify who I am.
So the criminals aren't really up to date on the latest technology. Is that what you're saying? They don't really understand megapixels.
And do you?
Yeah, I do. In fact, I could say it too, megapixels. But so you guys don't. There's not a criminals are us on megapixels.com, right?
No, we're not doing an Axis criminal forum. But no, and you're right. And I think that's kind of a key opportunity because for a change, we have a chance to be in front of the criminals. When my customers hand the images they receive from the higher resolution cameras over to the authorities are absolutely thrilled. They usually expect to see the blob that we all see on the news that says, "Hey, can you identify this man?" No, I'm looking right at it. I can't identify. I didn't even know it was a guy.
I see a bald head. That's all I see is the overhead shot. I didn't see you.
Dang, Joe, it's getting personal up in here.
And I'm not giving up anything. I'm not turning around.
Because of the technology and the form factors, you're able to put cameras in locations that make more sense. You're right, like the top of the head view. okay, it helped me get a situational awareness. But now you're able to put cameras like in door mullions and for exit view, which are very unobtrusive to the good customer, but get wonderful shots of the guys as they leave the facility, and you can then use that for making sure that the dog's bark has a bite as well.
So we can always count on Hedgie for some really good tweetable moments that aren't cliches yet, but they will be when you're older. So
I'm a walking soundbite.
So what's cool for me about Access is that you guys really don't, create your solutions in a vacuum. You actually bring your customers in and you try to understand truly with the industry research, like what's happening in their environment. So tell us a little bit about the Access Leadership Forum. Did I get it right?
Access Retail Leadership Forum.
Ah.
Yes, the ARLF, or the drunk.
Oh, excuse you.
The Drunk Dog Forum, as we call it. So the Access Retail Leadership Forum, we started about 4 years ago. This will be our 4th time doing it, and it's an opportunity for us to invite the retail leaders of today into a facility for 2 days where we spend time. And it's not just about Access and who. It's not a pep rally. It's more about here's the technology, here's what's happening. It's moving rapidly, and it's almost impossible for me, and I work here, to keep up with it. But we spend time with the technology, how to understand networking, how to understand resolution, and what a spec sheet really means. But we also spend time saying, what do we need to do? What are you looking for? Now, Steve Jobs would say that's the wrong way to do it, but it has really proven to
But
be.
he hasn't been very successful, so why would you care what Steve Jobs says?
Exactly. No, but we do serve the retail market, and we want to hear from them on their needs, and that has actually helped shape the future of technology from an IP surveillance standpoint. And we also have a session where we say, what are some of your issues? What are the challenges you guys have had? What are you trying to solve? And then we have our panel of product engineers and product managers to answer those. But what really gets cool from that is the retailers start helping each other out. And
So like a round table of challenges that they can say, what are your best practices, right?
Absolutely, it's a great couple days. We learn a lot. We hopefully my customers will learn a lot, and it's a non-sales environment, so it's very safe.
Are you calling salespeople dangerous?
Not at all. I'm saying
He would never go there.
boy,
Not Hedgie.
I am saying something. Hang on.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, a little sidestep there. No, it's an opportunity where everyone can speak openly and not have to worry about anything being used against them or anything like that.
Well, retailers want to learn, right? And they're mostly learning from other retailers, and you guys provide that environment, which is pretty cool.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you got, Joe? Because I'm about to move into the LA movie star questions. Can we go there?
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Now you're
This is
really
important.
in the Hollywood
I know.
spotlight.
And we didn't talk about this because I always want to see what you have to say, like right off the cuff, which is dangerous. So it's live. Remember that. Unless it's past the 25th.
it might not
Thanks for pointing that out. So if they were going to make a movie about your life, which they might, what movie star would play Hedgie?
Well, let's see. Chris Farley passed away.
God rest his soul.
I don't know. Probably somebody of the ilk of like Adam Sandler type.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would hope anyway. I was going to say something like, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio or any, Ben Affleck, one of the, George Clooney, right? Yeah, but no.
I can see that. Bradley Cooper. That's my favorite.
There you go.
That's a good one.
So,
I think we should ask Joe.
Oh no.
on who would play Joe? Yeah, who would play you, Joe, in the life story of Joe LaRocca J?
Let's see. Do I want to be Matt Damon, like Born Identity,
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne? No, maybe more like George Lucas. President, Air Force One.
Ooh.
Or not, I'm sorry,
I
Harrison
was like,
Ford.
he's a writer. What's happening?
Bleep. About Harrison Ford. But I don't.
He doesn't think much
I don't
of
want to
himself,
crash
does he?
the plane on the golf course. That's
The
what I
young
don't want to
Harrison
do.
Ford.
Yeah.
Young
The-
Harrison
The
Ford.
young Harrison Ford.
Yes.
How's that? And not the. Who's the one that got in a pursuit the other day down the road and it turned into like this?
We're totally not cool. We're not LA people, Joe.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It's not. It wasn't Harrison Ford. It was one of the. Tweet me at LaRocca J.
Yeah.
I want to know the answer to that. We're gonna have to look it up. Who's the one that got in the pursuit and
Just recently.
police cam
in LA?
video? It was awesome. Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, we see LA pursuits all the time, but this one was really good.
Well, some of us actually had a job to do this week, and we were at a trade show. We didn't catch much news, so.
Yeah, some of us just stay completely in our little silos, uninformed. We don't watch any of the news and see anything. I'm just kidding.
Well, you guys are pretty busy. I mean, you were saying that since we are talking to you at NRF Protect, that you found the conference to be extremely busy.
Yes.
And a lot of super high traffic. And this time you don't have a football game playing right next to your booth.
All right, yeah, we don't have people collecting just to watch the game, but there has been a lot of traffic. It's been very busy, been a very good show.
So, Joe, what do you got?
I'm getting the wrap-up signal.
Oh, aren't you lucky out there, viewers? But Hedgie's going to be back with us.
Just a little bit. So I'm Joe LaRocca. This is co-MC Amber Bradley and special guest Hedgie Bartol. And follow us on Twitter at LaRoccaJ, at MyCalibration. We'll come back to Hedgie's Twitter handle a little later. Back to you.